But let me begin by saying that, together we have really laid out a set of action items that we've established in the Metro Crime Initiative. And this agenda is about clear actions that we can take across the criminal justice system. And also in the short term, these are things that we believe will help turn the tide on violent crime in our city, again, in the short term and for each step of the criminal justice system. Now, I also want to state that this work is a reflection of each of us believing that violent crime is unacceptable. We are all sick of it, no matter what piece of the criminal justice system we are in. And we're also tired of the dead ends, and I think we're also tired of the one-off efforts by all of our agencies. We do our best on our own, but now we're standing together. And we're also going to hold each other accountable to do our part. Now, I do want to mention what you see, whether it's the checklist here that we've provided or the information that we're going to be sharing with you. These were the outcomes of the Metro Crime Initiative. Now, it doesn't mean that every institution absolutely supports every item in there. I want to be clear. One of the officers who was shot a little over a month ago in a terrible incident, and he's standing here today because of his bulletproof vest. Otherwise, he would not be here today. So we're grateful these officers have pulled through, but I also just want to acknowledge Sergeant Kenny saved dozens of lives, if not more, that day. He and his team taking action when they needed to, literally putting their lives at risk, is the quintessential example of being a hero in our Albuquerque Police Department. So we are grateful you were there. And I know the victims, not the victims, but the bystanders, as I shared with you earlier, they personally want to extend their gratitude to you. I know 2 individuals now who are in that drive-through line, and they owe their life to you and those other officers. So, Sergeant, thank you. We'd like to hear your words.
Appreciate it. Good morning, everybody. As the mayor said, first of all, thank you guys for inviting me. My name is Sergeant Sean Kenny. I'm with the Albuquerque Police Department. I've been here since 1999 after the sub. And right then is when Mario called out and said, hey, we have eyes on the people who the victim says is the offenders. So we all headed down that way. I came around the corner at Wantabo and I believe Summer by Big O, and I see Mario and James Eichel running down the alley. Real quick, I would absolutely like to thank James Eichel for showing up. He didn't have to. He is not on my team. He does not work for the Foothills. He was there to help, and thank goodness he was, because the thought of Mario going down that alley by himself, I don't know what would have happened. If the suspect could have just focused on Mario, it could have got really ugly. When I saw them run down the alley, I whipped a U-turn. I'm heading southbound on Wantabo, and I can hear the gunfire in my car over the radio, and there's a lot of it. Stopped right as I turned onto, I believe, again, it could be Mountain or somewhere, I don't recall right now, and I threw on my rifle plate carrier. Rifle plate carrier is something, cute little sidebar, the department ordered about 5 or 6 years ago for the emergency response team, which I was on since pretty much its inception. It's a rifle ceramic plate, very lightweight. You can wear it for hours. It's super comfortable. It's rated to stop rifle fire, not just pistol fire, and that becomes critical later on. I threw that on, pulled into the Dutch Brothers parking lot, and saw Harry. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know where anybody was. I put my car in park, and I'm going to tell you guys, I want you to hear it straight from me. I don't have video of this incident. I don't. I had my camera on my regular shirt, and when I threw my plate carrier on over that, it either turned it off or somehow managed to shut the camera off. So I was in the process, I didn't know it was turned off, of going from my shirt to my plate carrier when the suspect popped up to my right. I'm in my driver's seat. I'm not ready for this. I bailed out of the car. I watched my camera go skidding across the pavement, and the thought literally that goes through my mind, by now Harry and the suspect are shooting at each other, is I'm going to get in trouble. That's the first thought, other than oh bleep, when he came around the corner, that came out of my mouth, came into my head, is I'm going to get in trouble because I don't have footage of this now. I didn't know the camera was off. I didn't know at the time. I was going to try and flank him, and I realized that there is a ton of vehicles in the Dutch Brothers parking lot, and they're all occupied. I can see their faces. And so kind of backtracked, came up with another plan. I don't know for sure, but the gun battle lasted 1.5 to 2 minutes, which was really, really long. And I will also tell you, at some point he reloaded. And I'll tell you, the thought that went through my brain when Harry yelled that is, these guys don't reload. They never have extra ammunition. I've taken hundreds of guns. Half the time they're unloaded. Most of the time they have 2 or 3 rounds in them. And this guy's reloading. That doesn't happen. So we did what we had to do. 27 years of doing this, I have done some crazy stuff. That was by far and away the most terrified I've been in my life. Didn't think I was going to see my wife and my son again. It was beyond anything I'd ever dealt with. And I've been doing this a long time, vast majority of it in the southeast area on Graveyard. So I've dealt with a lot. So we got him into custody, we slapped a chest seal on him, and I'm standing there, and one of the other officers, Justin Jones, comes up and he does a blood check. It's what you do after a gunfight to make sure you're not hit because of the adrenaline you don't know. And he goes, hey, let me check you. For what? I'm not hit. I had no clue. No idea I was hit. So he looks and he goes, points right in the center of my chest, hey, is that hole new? What hole? I look down, oh, I don't remember seeing it. He starts feeling around, he's like, I think you were hit. Sure enough, I got a little notebook, he pulls it out, it's got a hole in it. And I'm like, yeah, I was hit. And I'll be blunt, I was a little foggy from there on out. And hopefully we'll be able to provide more details down the road. But I just kind of wanted to touch on that with you guys because here's a gentleman, I shouldn't use that word, Ramirez, who came to our state several days prior. Probably shouldn't have been out based on the arrest record that I saw. This guy absolutely planned. 100% he knew what he was doing. 100%. He had a ton of ammo, he had a ton of magazines, and he was ready to go to war with somebody, whether it was us or the people that he robbed. And he ambushed the first 2 officers. He kind of ambushed us, although I think, frankly, we probably surprised each other. And I have no idea what he would have done. He just got into a gunfight with 2 officers shortly further up the alley, and he comes into this parking lot loaded with cars that are easy to carjack. Who knows what he would have done? I have no clue. But the pendulum, I'll be very honest, has swung way too far. In 27 years, I'm all about second and third chances. Some people actually deserve them. Some people absolutely should be given that chance. Some people should not. Violent criminals who use a gun have no business on our streets, 100%. If they're going to shoot at 4 officers in a stand-up gun battle that's just about 4 minutes long between the 2 of us, what are they going to do to everybody else? They're not going to hesitate, and that's why we have 80-plus homicides in this city right now. Things have to change. The system has to change. And I'm going to say it right here in front of everybody, and they don't know I'm saying this. I'm challenging everybody in this room, everybody on this list, to do better, because everybody can. From the brand new P2C who makes that first arrest to the governor and everybody in between, we have to do better because we are failing. Everybody's failing. APD is failing. Everybody. We're failing. We have a murder rate that is through the roof. We're failing. That's what we're doing. And so this has to change. This has to improve. We have to make dramatic, tough decisions across the board. For APD, I will tell you right now, these 2 things right here are huge. More officers, retain. We are losing a ton of officers. And I'll tell you why. People aren't going to want to hear this. It's the consent decree. The consent decree is forcing officers to leave. That's just the honest-to-God truth. There's a whole, I see it in the media all the time, oh, you know, they're just leaving this, and that. It's the consent decree. I talk to most of them, 75 to 80% of them, it's the consent decree. I'm not opposed to reform, I'm not. The people of this country have spoken in the last couple of years. They want police to do their job differently and better. Cool, I have no issues with that. But it's got to be smart, it's got to be intelligent, it's got to be workable. It cannot be where we literally do this to somebody and that's 12 to 16 hours I'm stuck at my desk doing paperwork. That's not the answer. It's not at all. We have to fix stuff. We need more folks in APD. We need to alter the consent decree, and we all need to do better. That's my message. I hope it resonates. I hope people understand and listen. And I've been told we have a very tight time frame, so I'll wrap it up. I can't take questions yet, but I promise you I am not done speaking on this. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you all. Thank you all, and I will be watching.